Waiting for some people to roll in the room.
Goody got it. What's going on? Aha. There it is. Live and in color.
And we're up on the VCN.
Woo!
Well, hello, people. We'll just see people getting on.
There we go. And there are people in the room. So
All right. Well, welcome to another week of the Virtual Cantina. March to Mando 3, which we're very, very excited about. I'm Spencer. I'm one of your hosts for tonight. Your producer is Dave. Dave, how are you?
hey, doing well. How about yourself?
I am doing fantastic. And we also have Leilani's favorite, Jeff. How are you, Jeff?
Good. Better that we have Leilani here, so we got
Absolutely. Hello, Mr. Nutman. So before we introduce our guest for the evening, just going to do a couple of housekeeping things first and foremost. First off, the Anarchy in the UK Racer is on sale for the next 2 weeks. Please make sure that you try to pick an order with that one. Also, we got tickets going on sale for Bunta Eve 4 in London on the 1st of the year. So we're very excited about that. And tickets for Cantina 2, which is going to be a big concert during Celebration London, go on sale tomorrow. The promoter reached out to me and I leaked all the information on the page tonight. As you can see right there, Dave's got a very nifty t-shirt right there. Why don't you talk about that?
So we have a number of t-shirts, for Boonty Eve coming out, and some different postcards and different sort of things, some swag that you can get at Boonty Eve included with your ticket. But we've put them out, just to kind of sponsor and boost that appeal for it. And this is our European vacation, April 6th through the 10th, right there. And if you can't see right there, that's not, in fact, Chevy Chase. And it's not, as the hat says, Jonathan Notman. But those are some of our favorite Star Wars characters, just kind of melded into the National Lampoon's property.
Brilliant. Well, we're very excited about that. We'll have a couple of new ones coming out next week on TeePublic as well. But going back to our guest at hand, we are very, very excited to have our wonderful family member, Leilani Shiu, joining us again tonight. Leilani, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, we always love having you on the show, and anything that we can do with you is always a pleasure. Last time we had Leilani on the Virtual Cantina Watch Along, we were watching some Obi-Wan Kenobi, which was a big reveal for Leilani because first
where's mine?
Jawa to get a name ever, which is pretty awesome. And also gave Leilani her own catchphrase within Star Wars, which is cleaning costs extra. So since then, how's everything been since the reveal of Zika?
Everything's been great. I've been doing a lot of cons and stuff, and then now I hooked up with Loungefly, Moby Fox, the Star Wars jewelry, Rock Love. So I my life has changed a lot. And then, I now open the doors to a lot of fans and new fans worldwide. Me having my own figure. Now I'm a Hasbro Black Series, and I heard there's a Funko Pop coming out. So it's exciting.
No, that's absolutely fantastic. Well, I think there's your Funko, your Black Series that Dave's holding up right now. So it's very exciting to see, you're getting out there. I know that Jeff saw you and you came by our meetup. So thank you very much for that. But it looks like you have a big signing this weekend with Ariel in Texas this weekend. Why don't you talk about that?
Yes, I will be in Austin, Texas. It's called Smuggler's Hideout. It's at a brewery, and then at Dragon's Lair, which is all over Texas, the comic book store, but I'm going to be at the Austin store on Sunday. So Saturday, I have Smuggler's Hideout at Oscar Blues Brewery, and for after 2 o'clock. And then I go the next day, I'll be at 11 o'clock at Dragon Lair. So I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to go to this go see Texas, because I haven't been to Texas for like before COVID. So I'm excited to see the fans.
That's absolutely incredible. If you're out in Texas, please make sure that you go out to see her and Ariel. So if you have any questions for tonight for Leilani, either on the VCN or on our Facebook page, Dave is monitoring. We are going to be watching season 2, episode 1, which is the Marshall. There you go. You got that signed.
Oh, see, yeah, Pinarose on you. You've got yours signed already. I haven't seen Leilani since I've gotten mine. Ah.
I had the privilege of seeing her a few times, but this was in Bakersfield. Thank you again.
Now you're gonna make me look for my Leilani autographs. Like
For sure.
like the copy of the Star Wars Insider that she had delivered to me in Rhode
Oh,
Island,
yeah.
which I greatly
Ooh, nice.
appreciated that. Yes, Dave's like, what the hell? But no, I was very appreciative when Chuck came over to me. I was actually online for Barry Lowen, and he's like, "Oh, I'll be right back." And he came back like 2 minutes later. He's like, "Here's a gift for you from Leilani." So I greatly appreciated the signed copy. Of course, she signed it, cleaning costs
You're
extra,
welcome.
which was absolutely awesome. So tell us, I mean, so this was Mandalorian season 2 was obviously your second foray into Mando, the Mandoverse. When did you find out that you were coming back for season 2?
For season 2, I think because that was my big break. Season 1, I was all over season 1, and they decided to pick me for the Marshall scene. So they casted me. So that's the first time I actually cast credited as Jawa. And so I'm the only Jawa that's casted as Jawa. And chapter 9 is the episode, the Marshall scene. So that was my big break into the Mandalorian.
That's
So
fantastic.
I think I found out like months before we filmed, and they had told me that come in because they were going to fix my outfit a little bit different. And then that happened. And then they gave me the script, and we went from there.
That's awesome. So you obviously have gone on, to do some stuff in Fett. You've gone in to do some stuff in Obi-Wan, which, I'm sure the guys talked about. I mean, you got to do that incredible scene with Ewan, which is just you and Ewan. So that many people could actually say they've had a one-on-one experience with that. Have touched upon all the, I guess you want to say the US filming of like the Disney Plus era of Star Wars.
Correct. Yeah, everything has been done in US. Andor is actually probably the only one for Disney Plus so far that's been filmed in UK. But yes, everything else from that Dave and John has touched has been filmed here. So, which has been great. And even Ewan talks about it in his interviews and stuff. He's happy because usually Star Wars is filmed outside of US, and was the first time for him filming here for Star Wars. So he loved it because he was on I think he was on every episode every day. So he loved going home at night and then coming back instead of being in a hotel for a whole year. So he loved that.
Understandable. So I also have to ask this question because obviously we're in the march also to Star Wars Celebration, which is coming up in another 4.5 months, which is ridiculous because it just feels like we were just at Celebration. But how was your Celebration experience? I know you kicked everything off at Bunta, and then you were all around Celebration at the events and stuff. How was your Celebration experience this past year?
It was great. You know why? Because I couldn't say nothing. And they launched my episode, which was episode 1 for with Obi-Wan, and that I was in. So that's why I wasn't part of the signings. They had all the actors signing, and I couldn't sign because I was a secret. So I went there and I got to see a little bit of the screening, and then I left because I had to come back the next day. And when I came back the next day, which was awesome because walking around, my managers that Chuck and Nick, were walking around, and I'm seeing Jawas already have the T16 on them. So I was like, wow, where did you get a T16? How did you come up with it? Because no one knew about it until it aired, and the only people that got to see it really is the people at Celebration. So that was really
I'm shopping
cool
for one right now.
that people oh, see
You also have to find. You also have to find a motherboard for a moisture converter.
There you go.
But remember, clean costs extra, Dave.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
But thank you so
Yeah.
much for being part of Bunta in Anaheim. It was so much fun, and having you as a judge for Idol was incredible. So thank you so much for being part of it.
Oh yeah, I loved it, and you guys are family, and so it was great to meet everybody, and it was great that you actually invited everybody, knowing that I wasn't part of Celebration the night before when you had Bunta. It was cool because you had Chris there, you had Misty there with me, all the 501st, and then people who came to Celebration all over the world stopped by Virtual Cantina. So I thought that was really, really cool. So I had a really good time being with
Well,
everybody.
glad, and hopefully, someone gives you a call and you get invited to London. And love to have
I
you
know
come.
me.
Love to have you come over and
Be with you.
have some blue milks with us the night before when we have Bunta
Yes.
4 in Canary Wharf, which is where they filmed scenes from Andor and from Rogue One. But I believe there's some questions in the chat, Dave.
There are several questions in the chat. One is, that you couldn't tell us if you knew, which is, are you joining us in London? Which, we'll be waiting for that one. But here is
So far, I don't know yet.
we also have Mr. Jonathan Notman would like to know, so far, what has been your favorite series to work on to date?
My favorite series? Actually, I love working all the series. I love being on Mando, the season 1, because that was my first time, and being with everybody. And I love all the different directors I worked with. And then I'm really close to Brendan Wayne, who is Mando's double, and he's John Wayne's grandson, which is amazing. And shout outs to everybody, to Lateef, to everybody. And I worked with Deborah Chow, and Deborah Chow, she's Chinese like me, and she fell in love with me, and she's from Canada, and I was born in Canada. And so we hit it off very well. And I ended up doing extra parts in Mando 1 because of her. And then after that, rest is history, because she's the one that was the big deal for Obi-Wan. And she picked me for that part. So if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been Tika. So, and then being part of Boba Fett, I know there's mixed feelings about Boba Fett, but I love Boba Fett. It was during COVID that we filmed, and I had a great time. And because it was during COVID, they only could use so many of us. They didn't use that many. And so Ariel and I did a lot of the parts. We were, we did almost every Jawa scene you seen. It was just us. And then I had the big scene with Bryce Howard. She directed The Return of Mando, which became the biggest episode of Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett. So that was amazing. I love working with Amy Sedaris. She's very funny. Her and her and Brendan, you know, and Lateef and all of them, and working with Bryce Howard. You know, she's Ron Howard's daughter, so it was great to work with her. And then Obi-Wan. You know, I got to work with Ewan, which was big.
I got my Bryce
So
and
I love
Brendan
it.
already on my
Oh.
Fett piece.
Nice.
Ah.
And feel free to
Oh,
tell
I
any and
love
all
that.
of those people how much fun it is to come on a virtual Cantina watch along.
They're more than
Oh yeah, for sure.
Any
I
and
know Brendan
all.
wants to. I just know that Brendan's tied up.
I bet Bryce would want to too.
Bryce, I'd be ecstatic, but there has been some conversations with Mr. Wayne, so fingers crossed it all comes through. But yes, we're very excited about that,
And
Classic
Ooh,
Frozen.
the connection to that.
let's take another question while Spencer is frozen. Is Jonathan
Hopefully
that
like
or neither.
a little bit about like
You got
how
stuck at
how is
Ann,
Bryce,
Spencer.
Bryce to work with, to be directed by or work with?
Oh, by Bryce Howard.
Yeah.
Oh, it was amazing. You know, I'm a fan of course, Ron Howard, because you know I watch. You know, I'm old, so I watch Opie
Rich Cunningham.
back in the day.
Opie
You know, and I
Cunningham.
watch Happy Days and everything. Yeah, and so you know, I actually, when I knew I was going to work with Bryce, I actually went on Amazon and I tried to find the doll, and I got her dad. And so I even told her, I was like, even though we couldn't bring nothing on set, I was like, I have his doll from Happy Days, and I'm like, I should just give it to you. And she's all, no, you should keep it. Maybe we'll figure out how he can sign it. And I'm all, that would be awesome. I'm such a fan of Ron Howard, you know. But you know, working with her, she's amazing. She loves me. She follows me on Instagram and my Facebook, and you know, her and I comment each other. So, yeah, I really love her. Like she we went to a rap party and she was there, and she had told Chuck and Nick, she goes, "Oh my God, where's my girl? I love her." So you know, so that's an honor that she actually really cares about me. I thought that was awesome, and she liked me.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and Lila would like to know is like who as fans, who do we need to write to? Who do we need to talk to? Who do we need to like pester insanely to get you some more screen time? We want to see new characters for you and see you in all sorts of things.
I would love it. I would pester John Favreau, Dave Filoni, all of them. I mean, because I know Lucasfilms and I know Disney does see my Instagram. I know they do see what fans write in. So definitely, I know a lot of people would like to see more of me and Ewan. They want to see more of the relationship continue of Tika and Kenobi. So, you know, definitely let them know. And, you know,
Sounds like
because
a
they were
buddy
like,
comic.
how come it was only one episode and that was it? Where were you? How come you weren't
Yeah.
in the rest of the show?
Well, now
So,
Tika's got to
yeah,
find
just-
Tika's got to find her way into Beggar's Canyon now since he's moved. You know, and find some.
Yeah.
But we need Leilani to get a lightsaber eventually.
I would pay money to see a Jawa Jedi.
Oh my God.
That's some stuff. Or at the very least, just like
Didn't we
scavenge a
talk about it? I
Jedi
think we
and take a
talked
couple
about
of people out before you sell it. Something.
I think Jeff and Mike, we talked about it. Mike, who's not on here, my monkey. We
Where is
talk
Mike?
about it, and they said that in the comic book, it's there is a Jawa that has a lightsaber. I hope to God I get that part. I want a lightsaber.
That would be awesome.
So here's a
I want to
question.
be
that-
Yoda.
Let's start the hashtag.
yes, get
Get Tika-
Leilani,
Tika
get
lightsaber.
Tika lightsaber. But here's a question I'm sure everybody's asking:
Yes.
Who broke up with who, Moto or Tika? Like, what was the deal with trying that? Because she said she dated a Jawa, and you came over, and
Commented on how hairy you are.
I don't know if that's a trade
don't know.
secret. I don't know if you can answer that, but
I-
no, yes.
Oh, I guess you gotta tune in more. I need to keep my mouth shut, huh? You
Absolutely.
never know
Well,
what may happen.
You know, we're very excited about
future.
we're excited about season 3, which is coming out March the 1st, and will coincide whether they double up or triple up on the first week with Celebration at the beginning of April.
Yep.
And also at the end of March, Bad Batch ends, but Bad Batch starts in 3 weeks, which we're very excited about. Season 2, the trailer came out yesterday, and the trailer for Jedi Survivor video game came out today, literally an hour ago. So there's a lot of great Star Wars going on. Obviously, Ahsoka, everybody's been very, very excited about the picture of Ashley and Rosario from GalaxyCon Columbus from this past weekend, which Skip got to go and meet all of them, which that's pretty awesome. So Leilani, you've worked with all the Din Djarins. You worked with Obi-Wan Kenobi. You worked with Moto. You worked with the Armorer. You worked with Bo-Katan. What character or what actress or actor in all the Mandoverse right now that you've loved but did not get a chance to work with, who would you want to work with?
I would love to work one-on-one with Emily. I would love to work with the Armor. I even said, put it out there, I would love to be the baby Armor. I have a really good relationship with Emily outside of on set. And when we're on set, like she'll come find me, and she just loves us. And so does Tate, of course, the heavy armor.
Yep.
We have this
Okay.
like crew now because we've been doing these Comic-Cons together, and so we got to know each other more personable, like we have each other's cells and stuff. So if it has to be Mando, I would love to be with Emily because we do cons together, and I would love to we team up together when we do cons. It'd be great if I was part of her little circle. It would be great, and she would love that too.
Well,
Yeah,
I do know
was
that when
it-
I went to that con in Jacksonville, and it was so loud that I couldn't answer my
Mhm.
phone, but I texted you after. I was like, "Oh, Emily says hi," and then a second later, you call me. I'm like, "I can't talk," and then I was talking to Matt Wood, and he leaked some information to me, and I texted you, and then you called me again. I'm like, "I can't pick up my phone. It's so loud here." But every time I say someone says hi, Leilani is like, "Ooh, put me on the phone." But yeah, no, it's great. No, but we would love to have you, do a scene with Emily. Emily's a good friend of the VCN as well, and would love to get her back on a show in the future. Who knows? Maybe we'll see how the
Mhm.
Force wills it.
Maybe us both can be on. It'd be great.
Fantastic.
I would
So
love to be on with her.
We're about at that time right now. So Dave, why don't you do the countdown for this one?
All right. Well, just to make sure, because I do know that I think we've got some new people to the watch along that have joined us this week. Is here's how it works. Is we're going to be sitting here and we'll be talking along as we play the episode from Disney Plus. So please, put on some headphones if you're watching. Turn your volume down so we don't get kicked off of the Facebooks because the algorithms rule the thing. But watch along with us. We don't skip the intros. We watch all the flashbacks and all the stuff, and we're going to talk and have stories and, hopefully, give you some more insights into this episode as we go along. So everybody get it queued up on the Disney Plus machine. And
Ready?
What's the title of this episode? Is this
The Marshal.
Marshal?
The Marshal, Chapter 9.
The
Season
Marshal.
2,
Chapter
episode
9, the Marshal. So everybody get it going, ready. Mine is the little circling right now, so I'm just stalling. All right. Everybody set. And in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
It was a
4,
long
3, 2, 1. Engage.
Oh, don't scare Notman away.
That's the goal right there.
I know you're going to see him next week, so
I
I
know.
wouldn't figure him out
He's
now.
gonna pay me back for this in person.
Yep.
Oh, see, there was your first. Oh.
Be back for this in person.
Both the hunter and the prey. So showing a little bit of flashbacks right now, and seeing the child for the first time and some Beskar.
Yeah. I love seeing the flamethrower. It's like,
Mhm.
bitch, you filthy space wizard.
Hey, there's Gecko.
What? Oh, look, there's a Kenner toy brought to real life. The
Yes.
group carrier.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. I broke
Oh.
mine in the sand.
Yep, Jason, we're
Oh, there
watching
she is.
along. Mando season 2, episode 1, chapter 9 there. And we're at about 120 in there. If you get ready, ask for the time code and we'll punch it up for you.
And I want to give a quick shout out to Hal Hinkle, who joined us last week from
Yes.
ILM to discuss the ending of season 1. We hope to have Hal back on with again. It was a wonderful.
That was great.
It
So let's
was.
recap.
All right, there we are. The Jawas gasping and the dark sabers cutting through the what?
You guys are running away from good old Moff Gideon there.
Oh yeah.
When he comes out at the end of the last episode.
Season
That was
1.
Pretty intense reveal. Yay, Lucasfilm. So if we find a scene interesting, we'll pick your brain about it. I'm sure there'll be plenty. Need to get that TV fixed though. Get them kids to work.
I know. We got a new TV. We got the big one.
Okay, we'll
Did you
get
get
it
the
all.
Did you get the Star Wars
Get that
4K
stuff.
TV?
Ooh. Oh, this is a great
Isn't
reveal.
that the one? Yeah, the one that was on sale at Target on Black Friday. It's
I think so.
huge.
This was so cool when he
Blake,
comes
how you
walking
doing?
through with the pram at the beginning of this episode through the graffiti alley.
Yep. And I love seeing in the gallery, the artist being coming on to show us how he did it. And then you
Right,
see him in the scene that's coming up.
right. Was it David Cho?
And we'll be watching the gallery as our last episode, will we not? Before
Oh, yeah.
season 3?
Correct.
we'll talk about
So
it that
since
way.
we found out that Mandalorian is actually starting March 1st and not the 22nd of February, we are going to be watching gallery to be a buffer.
But really, shouldn't we be used to that by now? It's not the first time that they've bitten us in the proverbial behind with our scheduling because of, well, not, it's not the end of the world. It just throws a little monkey wrench into the whole thing.
They should know that we roll with the punches here at the VCN.
Right.
That's it.
Definitely had alternatives.
So,
So
question in the chat right now is, so when you first received the script for The Mandalorian, like it was new at that point. We hadn't had all this content. Did it make any sense to you? Did you know what was really going on with it, or?
Well, for season 1, I didn't have no script. I was just there. We had a lot of NDAs and stuff. So I just went for fitting and stuff. And I had no idea that I was part of Star Wars until my first day, because remember, the Jawas in season 1 are from Navarro. So we are gray with red eyes. So they had us thrown off. We didn't think we were Jawas or, yep, that's us. We didn't know. We had no idea. So all those little people were in a tent. We were all dressed and everything and all cloaked up. And we all know each other. So we were all talking, and we still didn't know because there was a code name for us. And so once we got on set, you know, we could barely see because it's like 4 layers of material, you know, for our masks and stuff. So once we got on, and my first day on set, and they said, you know, we can see, and they started filming a little, and then they said, you know, bring out the baby. And I was like, the baby? There's a baby on set? And all I could hear, remember, I can't see, and it's dusty, dirty, you know, I can't see nothing. And then so they started filming, and then they let us take a mask break. So when they took off our mask break, they let us, when they cut, and then I was like, baby. And I'm like, oh my God, is that baby Yoda? Is that a Yoda? You know, and I was looking, and he was in his cradle. So like I said, I had no clue. And remember, Yoda is big to me, you know, the old, wise, you know, Yoda. So to have a little baby Yoda, I'm like, is that Yoda? It looks like Yoda, you know, and I didn't know. And then I looked around a little, because remember, they didn't have a name for Goguru, and they would call it on set even baby. Bring the baby, bring the baby. And then that's why there was no toys or nothing. Even when we launched, people were making their own babies, you know, they were making their own Gogurus. But that's how secretive they were. And then on set, after I seen that part, I seen like a BB-8, but the BB-8 was all dirty, like different color. So I didn't even know that was BB-8, because I was like, is that a droid? It looks like kind of like BB-8, but not orange, right? And I was like, oh my God, are we on Star Wars? You know, and then I realized that I'm on Star Wars, and then they let us know that we were part of Star Wars. But they didn't even tell us, you know, until we got off it. That was what it was called.
Can you tell us what the code word was for Jawas? What was the code name?
For Jawas, it was Emerald. It was Emerald, but Emerald, not spelled Emerald, right? Emerald, like the gem. It was spelled like Emerald de Grassi. So then I was like, I'm looking it up, right? And I'm like, there's nothing. And so then I'm thinking, before I got on set, I'm thinking, oh my God, are we on a Wizard of Oz show? You know, because there was a casting of us little people. So then I'm thinking, we're Munchkins, but like a spook Munchkin, because I'm like, Emerald. And then, you know, it's us little people, but we're dressed different, right? We're dressed like in capes and stuff, you know, gray capes, red eyes. And I'm like, well, this is strange. Maybe it's like a horror flick or something, you know? So, yeah, so we were called Emeralds. And it's out there, so I'm not saying something I'm not supposed to. It's out there.
Don't want to get in trouble.
No. I still think that would be fun to watch. It's like an episode of Emerald Lagasse with Jawas. You know, it'd be like the holiday special.
I know.
So I want to point out, which is great, that we had, first of all, John Leguizamo doing the voice of Gore over there, but you had John Rosengrant, who runs Legacy Effects, in the outfit.
Yes.
Which is kind of cool.
I love that he left him there to get dealt with by the creatures of the night, as it were. He hanging him from the light.
And for the record, those of you in the chat who need, you know, the clarification, Fluffy Spencer is the best Spencer.
Fluffy.
Plush Spencer.
Don't start that.
Fluffy. Where's my?
Fluffy.
Hey, there's Fluffy.
Yeah.
We get the Peli Motto reveal here. She's amazing.
I just got my copy of Clerks 3, and just seeing Amy Sedaris just talking about Star Wars like she doesn't know it about it is pretty hilarious.
Well, and I think like Amy Sedaris, this is a huge transformation. This is talk about like an actor that's transformed their look for a part, right?
Right.
You know, if you just like walked up to her on the street, not recognizable as this character.
Right.
But it's nice seeing the pit droids, back and
Here, though, you can get it.
doing
Yeah,
their Three Stooges shtick.
Yeah. What's up, Catherine? How are you doing? Let's see. Hi, Elijah. So, Leilani, Lila would like to know what's the favorite scene that you've ever had, you've ever seen, whether or not it's a scene that you're in, but one that you might have seen being set up as you're walking through or waiting to come on for your scene. What's your favorite scene?
My favorite scene. Well, I wish I could work with. I love Darth Vader, but I didn't get to work with Darth Vader. So I like working with the stormtroopers. I have fun with the stormtroopers, and I get to know them off scene. So whenever we take our breaks or in between, so I'm hanging out with the stormtroopers, and I tell everybody this because the stormtroopers, like, us Jawas have all this cloak and everything, but the stormtroopers, like, I feel bad. The 501st, I don't know how you do it, but on set they're tight, and they're it's it's pinching their certain parts, and to go to the restroom they have to take all this gear off. I mean, we had to take our gear off, but they had to take a lot of gear off. So I got to know them. I got to know each individual of them because I'd be on set backstage in the volume, right? And I'd be talking to them. So when we get on set and do our parts, I'd be messing with them. And it'd be because I know who they are. So I'd be messing with them. And so I make Dave and John laugh because, like, we had this one scene and I had to run toward them. They said, Leilani, run this way. And so the stormtroopers are right there, right? So I'm running toward the stormtroopers. And so since I know them, offset, they're messing me with the guns. And, remind you, their focus was on Mando because I was background. So they're focused on Mando and everybody. But here's me, Jawa, running after them. And we're just like having fun. Well, they use those parts because
nice.
Dave and John laugh. So they use that part, and then they use this one scene where I'm with like all this like junk and stuff, and there's stormtroopers right there, and they're pointing at me. We're having fun with each other. So they made that into a gift that my part. I think it's chapter. I don't know. It's chapter like 9 or 8 or 7 or whatever, but they used that part and somebody put Pee Wee Herman afterwards. So I'm a gift. So I guess
Nice.
people really like my scene, the stormtroopers.
Nice.
But I have a
That's
lot
great.
I have a lot of scenes, so I have a lot. So that's one thing. I love working with the stormtroopers. I have fun with them.
So we're
What do you-
about to crawl into most Espa. So let's play Find Leilani.
Woo.
Mhm.
I liked the scene before this where they let you know a little bit more about Tatooine geography. It's like Mos Espa's here, Mos Eisley's here.
Oh, right, on the big globe.
Mm-hmm.
It was Pelimato's geography class. I liked how happy Grogu looked on the ride over.
Oh yeah,
And now somehow he's on the other side.
Aww.
magic.
Got out of that pouch quick.
And they have W. Earl Brown
Mm.
as the Weequay.
See for yourself. Right there. Like, wait, that's familiar.
Yeah, it looks like where young Luke and Uncle Owen went to go get something fixed in the middle of Obi-Wan.
Hmm. Well, I think all bars in Star Wars apparently look very similar.
Mhm. Well, horseshoe bar is very, very popular. They have them on that too as well.
He's in there like, how are we gonna have a drink, man? You got straws? What's up? I don't know.
And there we have Wish.com Boba Fett.
Oh, come on, Wish.com. Best hair in Star Wars, right there.
He though seriously has the best hair to
Best
Star
hair in
Wars.
Star Wars.
Literally has the best hair to Star Wars.
Especially that's like anti-helmet hair. There's no way he was just wearing that helmet.
Well, he doesn't just have,
It's a little
a fan. He doesn't have just a fan in there for breathing. He's got like a,
grooming kit.
fluffer, actually like a big dryer or something.
It's one of those like old hair dryers that they would put on your head.
Yes.
Bryce is talking about the fact that they had the speeder bike in Chicago right by the StarWars.com stage, which is kind of
They got
cool.
some cool vehicles right around, like ringing that stage.
So Leilani, they're asking in the chat, is that when you really found out that you were in the Mandalorian, that you were in the Star Wars, did you, and how big of a deal that totally is? Did you reach out to any friends or anybody? Did anybody give you any particular advice, and what might that have been?
Oh no, because I signed an NDA that's bigger
Okay,
than a book.
okay, let's go back. I'm not trying to get you into trouble. Let's go back.
She couldn't tell anybody for a long time
that you were in the Star Wars. Once that was like a public knowledge-y thing, did you reach out to anyone for advice on what to do and how big a deal it was to be like a Star Wars? Is like, hi, I'm getting an action figure. I'm going to be this person. Did you get any advice at that point once you weren't violating your
Okay,
NDA?
so you mean once it airs? Let's make this clear in case John and Dave are listening.
Yes.
Or Lucasfilm.
And John and Dave, if you are listening, call us. We'd love to have you on the show.
There's a space for. We will make another box just for you.
Yes.
Get rid of these three on this side.
So once it airs and everybody knows about it and I can talk about it,
right?
Then I have my managers. As you know, Chuck and Nick, they're very into the toy and Star Wars world. So they have me set up. So I do, I know what I'm talking about, like about my toys, my toy value, everything, like I don't, like Nick handles all my contracts. So he reads actually, he knows more than anybody because he's my manager. So he has to deal with contracts. So he can't even tell Chuck stuff, because his name is on that signature with me, with my agent. So so they know what I can do, what I can't do. Like here, even though it says season 3 all over your the virtual cantina, I can't give no spoilers or nothing like that. And we're only here for season 2, chapter 9.
The march to season 3.
Yeah, we're leading up to season 3.
Yes, it's the lead up. We're not talking about
John, Dave, if you want to come on and don't have to worry about leaking anything, that's completely okay too. We love to chat with you.
Yes. I just for you guys, I will put a big red X over that number 3 right there, right in there.
Yes.
Just take that.
We're only talking about season 2.
Exactly.
Chapter 9, the Marshall scene that I'm in. But other than that, no, like pretty much like Spencer had helped me when we were at Celebration. We finally got to meet each other in person, and he introduced me to Frank to help me with the con world too. So, like it's been great because everybody is very, if I don't know something, someone else does. Like I said, like Spence has been great help, and he's been a great help with my managers and everything. And then you guys as a group, you guys have helped me. You guys are there for me. Like Jeff went to our Comic-Con, in Bakersfield, which was awesome. It's great to have family there. And then like this weekend we just did LA Comic-Con. So it's great to have you guys there with me. But what I don't know, you guys know. I don't know, like if I don't know like Grogu's species or Yoda's species, or if I don't know about the Jawas, I can ask you guys. So you guys are very helpful.
That was the one
That
thing Hal
helps,
said
right?
last week, was like
No
he thinks that we
spoilers.
know more about Star Wars than he does, and he's been around a lot longer than we have.
And more in depth, even though he's been in it. Yeah.
So I love this
You
this
know,
hollow news,
you know.
that we're seeing right here, when the Death Star blew up, and funny
Yes.
seeing how we, the non hollow version that we saw in Andor, in Cyril's apartment.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
Leilani, what did you
Why-
think of Andor, by the way?
Um, I I love Andor. I hope I can be on. Andor was more a movie. It was more like the Star Wars movies, right? It was more instead of, because it was filmed out there. So to me, it's more like that. Because where our shows is more of a TV series. So people were comparing us, right? But I like Andor. If you are a really true Star Wars fan and watch all the movies, then you would get Andor, right? And Andor seems to is doing pretty well, right? I've seen that he was the most favorite, and man, I hope someday I get to work with him. I love Diego Luna. They're filming right now. They
You'd
just
think that
announced. Well,
Andor
they
would
announced
run
that.
across.
I
Think Andor would run across a Jawa at some point. He does a lot of deals and stuff. You'd think some Jawa would
Oh
deal with
yeah, so that's
season 2 Andor.
I don't know.
That-
Nick,
We're-
I hope
it's a
I
really-
I hope I get
Nick,
it.
Chuck, do your job. Send Leilani to London.
Get Tika on Andor. That's the new
Exactly.
hashtag.
Nick, and do your job. my agent Pierre, do your job. I want to be on Andor, even though it's overseas. I'm willing to go overseas.
Oh,
So,
here we go.
make
We
that
got
happen.
we got the Jawas with.
Oh, this is the exchange here. Yes.
Yep.
In the
Yeah.
Sandcrawler. This is such an amazing scene. They're trying
Oh,
to
that's
sell.
me.
You're-
Okay.
Yeah, you're trying to sell them everything you got because of that
He's like,
Mhm.
"No, I want
Camtono
that."
full of goodies.
Mm-hmm.
And you happen to have Fett's armor. So amazing.
Yep. So that was my scene. That's the Marshall
Yes.
scene where it's in the Cantu, right? And then that's how you know Boba Fett's alive with the Marshall. That's me. And Ariel's by me. Who else was with me? A couple of us Jawas were together. Joe, that was the first season with Joe. She's done Tinkerbell. She's done all kinds of stuff.
Oh, nice.
So I have to say that I got very excited when you that picture, when you had a picture with Kevin and Kyle, when you all doing that job with Johnny Knoxville. So it made me very excited because I had just saw Kyle a couple of weeks before in Rhode Island. So seeing you all with Kevin and Susanna and everybody, it was nice. Nice Star Wars Jawa Ewok reunion.
This is the best.
Yeah, it was great. It was
Visit.
great. It was like all of us together. We had a good time. you know. And then what was great is me and Kyle finally got to talk. We're actually neighbors. We actually live near each other. He moved out here, and and he's like, I forgot you live right there. So we were talking, and he told me, he goes, Leilani, you need to get out there. And I'm like, he goes, when he does signings, he's like, people will try to bring him tikas, and he goes, I can't sign her Tika. He goes, you Tika is Tika. You need to find Tika. And he told me that they'll bring him 10 tikas and Susanna will tell me the same thing. Like they've been bringing them tikas. So I know fans really want to meet me, which is awesome. So hopefully I get to see you guys soon.
Absolutely.
So
I
that
know
scene was,
Kyle's coming back up here right before Celebration to a small show in New Hampshire where he's actually from. So that'll be nice.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, so we didn't comment on the fact that,
Mando speaks Tusken.
Cobb Vanth is driving part of Anakin's pod racer.
or that he is action figure accurate,
Yeah, that too.
or wishful thinking action figure accurate. Yeah, he's got an interesting array of goodies, as it were. But I love Mando's dog whispering over here.
Oh yeah, and then you get the Tuskens to come out. I think I saw a question in the chat is, we know that Brendan and Lateef are in the Mando armor a lot when the helmets are on. Was there a body double, and how much time was Timothy Oliphant in the armor, or was someone else doing that as well? At least when you were working with the Marshal.
With Timmy, when I went in there, it was Timmy because my scene with him, because I was casted, so I went in when it was time for me to do it. So I didn't get to see the body double or anybody. Usually I do. Usually when I'm the background creature, I see everybody. I see when Brendan's in it or when Lateef is doing the action scenes. But for Mando, so usually I do see whoever's in the double. But for that one, I worked with him because he had his what do you call it? His head off, right? So you can see his face. So I actually worked with him. He had like a bottle. I remember meeting him. He had a bottle, like a wine bottle, like if he was, drinking or whatever. And so, I actually worked with him. So that was cool. So I don't know who his body double or anybody is. I assume he did have him, but I don't know.
He didn't seem to have the helmet off. I mean, on that much, right?
Yeah.
Think
See,
he
so
could
the
probably do
parts
a lot of those scenes just, put the helmet on him. They don't have to change any wardrobe or add anything else.
Right.
I know when Brendan does a lot of the work, Brendan, they ask if he wants to be changed or what, and he goes, no, he'd rather just do the scenes himself. So he does a lot of the work. So pretty much, and then like when Lateef does it, he does the action scenes for I'm talking about Mando. So he does all the action scenes, but when it comes to the actual work and stuff, Brendan is in the suit the most,
Right. Yeah, you can see the swagger that he brings to that character. Visually, it's very noticeable.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the Wayne walk.
He inherited that.
When Brendan's there.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the
like
true action is always Lateef, so it's easy to tell
Brendan
when those two are in the character or in the suit, as opposed to, which is 99% of the time.
I want to give a quick shout out also to Troy Cotter, who was the sign language Tusken Raider. Frank actually is plugged in the most recent issue of Star Wars Insider because Troy was interviewed and they needed somebody to be the interpreter. So they called Frank up for that. Um, and of course, Troy most recently won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for Coda, which was actually filmed where Frank is from as well. So kudos to Troy, and he actually came up with the ASL for Tuscans.
That's pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
So going on with the question, there's a question actually that is funny that nice segue into talking about Star Wars Insider. Why don't you ask the most recent question from Mr. Notman?
All right. So Jonathan wants to know, like, how was it meeting Tim Donaldson at Boonta Eve? Is him being an American Jawa from the original series? How was it? Have you guys shared any similar experiences, or do you get to talk much and stuff at Boonta?
Oh, actually, we talk off air now. He's really cool. It was cool to meet him. Being I love it. You have all the Jawas.
Yeah. Oh yes, this
Being
is my
the
Tim.
original. Being the original Jawa. That's really cool. And there was a couple of kids. I met a couple of the kids. It's cool because see, what's different for me is like now they're big and tall, right? And we're little, so then it's just a different way of looking at it, I guess. Because it's cool to meet them. It's cool to meet them because now they're just average height, and it's like, oh, you were a Jawa, and us, we're little, so we're gonna always be our size. So it's like it's just a different perspective. But it's cool because he would tell me, like, he would be on it and then off of it, but he got to work with George Lucas and everybody, and he got to work with the greatest, or he got to work, with like Carrie Fisher and everybody, I wish I could have.
I also like to say that it was awesome that when you guys had that article in Star Wars Insider, they talked to Tim as well, which was pretty cool.
Yes, that was all about the Jawas, and I thought that was really cool because the person that had done my article said it's going to be about you, right? And then I was like, okay. And then it was cool how they did it about the first Jawas to me, right? So I thought that was really cool. I was about all of us.
Very nice.
Bryce, we're at about 32:22.
And that was great last week when we were talking to Howard. He was talking about how they, John came up with the drawings for the Great Dragon with Dave, and just how they figured all that out was pretty cool.
Talked about
John is very in the.
They talked about the Great Dragon having many legs at one point. It getting hidden because of the fact that he's always in the sand. It just seems weird to me. I'm glad we don't see a lot of legs. But it would also explain how it moves through the sand.
Do we see like little feelery legs or something that helps move it around when it comes out? I'm not sure.
I think what I was watching talked about them being visible in the one scene where it comes out of the top of the mountain or whatever. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that episode in a bit. So here we are. You can watch it now. Oh, spoiler alert if you haven't seen this episode. They're going to fight that dragon. So
well, we just saw it's not all totally spoilery. We just saw the little plan that they're putting out little
they
pieces as
laid
people.
it out. So yeah,
I don't remember. Do they ever say like why Din speaks Tuscan? Is that just like a common Mandalorian thing? Because does Boba speak? No, Boba didn't speak Tuscan. He was just kind of doing the sign language and like a bantha.
Yeah. How much did he learn? Whatever, that was all after the fact. That wasn't he's definitely communicates with them and has previously versus Boba, who just sort of had to learn something.
Yeah. So Leilani, were you around when the banthas were on the set? Because we make a running joke that these look like
Yes.
Snuffleupagus from Sesame Street.
That was on Boba Fett. So that's when I seen them. Was on Boba Fett. I didn't see him on Mando. I seen him on Boba Fett.
Like, how big are those? Are those like really to scale in the volume? Is it like big like the Tuscan City? Or is it camera?
Well, they were. I did the outdoor scenes. So I didn't. Of course, Jawas get the outdoor scene. So the scenes that I was at was outdoors. So when we had the banta, we had the all the creatures and stuff. We were outside. So yeah, unfortunately for me, I wasn't in the volume. I was more outside. I was in the dirt, the mud, you name it. So I got to actually see the big size, whatever the big size of the creatures. They were that big. There were even the what is it? What do you call it? The one that they carry. I can't think of him in Boba Fett. Like he was really that big. They had like the
Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah,
The
Jabba
Hutt.
Hutt. So they had the
and the Rancor.
Yeah, so they were carrying him, and it was very heavy. So he is really big, huge. So it's really cool. Like when you're outdoors, they make it real. Like really, it looks real. even like my the sand crawler was huge. It wasn't like
That's cool.
small. And then when I was on top of the ship, like it was really on top of a big plank ship. So
I don't
it's big.
understand
The bantha's big, everything.
this plan against the crate dragon. Just seems so kind of pointless.
Like, oh yeah, let's just send one guy up with the oldest rifle known to man and just here, you'll be fine.
Especially considering what we learn about the dragon later on in this scene. It's just like it doesn't matter where you are. You're in its zone.
Well, that's what we didn't talk about earlier, but when they scoped out the crate dragon earlier, the marshal mentioned that it's unlikely you're ever going to see an empty Sarlacc pit, but when unless the Sarlacc's been eaten or killed. So we were all like hypothesizing. I was like, so did the crate dragon eat the Sarlacc? Like,
I have a lot of questions. I'm looking. I mean, a lot of questions for me, right? Can I answer some of them? I'm looking at the
absolutely.
chat.
Yeah,
Feel
go
free
ahead.
to,
I'm like looking at it. I was like, shout outs to Elijah. I see you. Leilani, Team Tika's here. And thank you for my DM of the picture of me on here. Let's see. There's who else said for Leilani? Since she can't talk about, can she talk about season 4? I see funny.
Wishful thinking.
or did you sign that NDA already?
Yeah, there you go. There's an NDA about signing the NDA.
I would not be surprised about
Jason, I missed a lot. Jason says, I'm guessing you're Polynesian and Hawaiian descent. Actually, I'm Chinese. I get that a lot. My name is Leilani, which is a Hawaiian name. You're correct. I was named after the song Sweet Leilani by Andy Williams. My mom liked the song, but I'm Chinese. I'm full Chinese. She was just looking for some kind of Asian name, so she picked Leilani. Let's see, say kayak, island type. Yeah. And if so, is there a character that you like to represent in Star Wars that's somewhat similar, like say Kaya or another? I would love to actually. I just did a panel this weekend, Asians in comics and media representation. I was just on a big panel at Star Wars. I mean at LA Comic Con, and actually the turnout was really big. So I would like to in Boba Fett, you know, Ming Na and also her double and her stunt double are Asian. So I would love to do some kind of a Asian character in Star Wars. That would be awesome.
You
Speak
get
it-
yourself out of the
Yes, I
sand
would
and
love
the
to
desert
be on.
because it's rough and coarse and gets everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to.
So how was it seeing
yes, I would love to.
how was it seeing Ming Na and Lauren recently? I know Lauren was over at
Oh
LA
yeah,
Comic.
I didn't get to see Ming because she was busy in her the autograph room, but I did see Lauren because me and Lauren, her manager is Justin,
Yep,
and
good
Justin
friend of
and I are
ours.
good friends, and yep, and it's so funny because my manager, Chuck, thought that's his best friend. He met him out when he went to see you, and I was like, I know Justin longer. Me and Justin actually talk a lot, so it's funny. They were so happy to see me. I posted a picture of me and Lauren. We're acting like Justin took the picture, so he saw like. So she did her, she does her action scene, her stunt scene, and then she's like, "Okay, you're a Jawa. Act like you're stealing something." So, so we did like a little action scene. That was cute.
That's
So
awesome.
it was great to see Lauren. I love
Well-
Lauren. You should have Lauren on.
Love to.
She's awesome. Let's
Justin's a
see.
great
What does a
member
Jawa
of the-
crave the most? An egg or a junk trade?
the Suga.
It says,
God.
Jonathan. He said, what does Jawas crave the most? Oh, you got my action figure just came from Amazon for Tika. It just came. They were supposed to release it in March, right? You pre-ordered with a Kenobi. I just got mine. The other day. So
That's awesome.
if anybody pre-ordered, you get it. Let's see. What do I crave the most? The egg or I crave junk trading. I like junk trading. I
There you
did that
go.
a lot. As a half Filipina, I would love it. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. So yeah, I was a teenager girl. My Tiger Beat poster, would be Diego. Ah, that's funny. Yes, I had Tiger Beat too. I'm that old, so I definitely I love Diego. I think Diego's so cute. I would
And
love
Jeff
to work
liked
with
Tiger
Diego.
Beat, so there you go.
Oh, I bet. Did you have Scott Bale picture, or what's her name? That played with Joni and
Johnny loves chocolate.
Joni pictures
Scott-
all over your wall.
he
Farrah
had
Fawcett.
Aaron Morin.
I like Aaron Morin from Happy Days long before Joni Loves Chachi. But
Yeah,
I've
happy.
heard the girls on Three's Company, so sorry.
See, Susanna Summers, right?
Suzanne
Yeah,
Summers,
and Joyce DeWitt.
and
Yeah.
their predecessors,
Mhm.
or not predecessors, following.
Oh, yeah. And here they are, bringing the giant Mando rifle into
Close
Joey
quarter
Hall.
combat.
I remember we talked about this when we first watched before. It reminds me of the bugs from Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah, the ones that just
Oh, look. You're bringing all your toys out.
Mhm.
Kevin, oh, thank you. You and your daughter are the best Javas ever. Thank you. That's so
Yeah.
sweet.
and Jason is saying the basis
then,
on his earlier
Jason said
question. Yeah. Just said that the basis was
that,
based on your name being Hawaiian, that he was stationed in Hawaii for years.
oh, that's so sweet. Yeah. Yeah. He said that. Yes, and her stepmom is Chinese, and her name is Lani. Yes, they call me nickname. A lot of my DJs, because I'm in the music business, they call me Lay or Lay, and then because of the Hawaiian flower Lay, or you get laid, and then and then a lot of people shorten it to Lani, so they call me Lani too. Because some people, like my manager Chuck, can't say my name, Leilani. So then that's a good way of shortening my name. What
I gotta
else?
give Chuck crap about that next time I talk to him.
Mhm.
Yeah, you go ahead.
How do you not know your own client's name? Like that's just wrong.
Ugh. I love this here where Mando sacrifices himself, sort of.
Well, and the fact that Boba Fett jetpack just takes abuse once again and gets smashed.
Yeah, doinked him.
This kind of reminds me of like
Fine guy with his stick.
when Drax in Guardians 2 decides to go jump into that creature.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you don't know. I think in the scene before, when when the crate comes over, you see some of those spines on the back that, are they used for locomotion, propulsion in the sand, or are they just spines? I don't know. Oh, there we
Like,
go.
I think I
Boom.
how can you be anywhere when you can come out of everywhere?
Right.
And also, I was gonna say, there we go. I forgot about that part. Like, didn't that thing blow up while they were inside? It's like, nope. You got the remote.
Well, then, Jonathan, maybe you should go watch Guardians. If we're spoilering it, go watch it.
Do you think that would have been awesome if he actually put a seismic charger inside there and we got the
Oh,
big
you got the
wall instead of a thermal detonator?
I don't know how big are those things though? That would be a lot for him to be just like packing and carrying around. I don't know.
Well, they had those thermal detonators strapped to the Bantha, so that's how you got that one out.
Yeah.
Like a banta.
like a
Oh, there you
yeah.
go.
I love that scene.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's
real, that's
the
very
gruesomeness of the Star. This is almost like the when the little triggers come out of the big.
Yeah.
I love Grogu over here with this giant meat nugget.
Yes.
He's like, I can eat this.
I'll down this real quick and no one will notice.
Yeah, he's got his big giant chicky nugget. Oh, and then this is your Easter egg from the game, right? The pearl.
Yep.
Right.
And of course, when I first saw it, I'm like,
Paintball.
peace.
Yeah, there you go. Classic episode 1.
Really cool when they changed the aspect ratio a little bit there too.
Oh yeah, see it coming back. They were talking about that also in, what was I watching? I can't remember.
Kevin Chrisley says, "Tell Disney Plus we want a very merry Jawa Christmas."
Aha, that would be great.
Watch that. That would be good.
I
And-
want to. I would love to.
And we all
The
freaked out when
Jawa,
we
Hey,
Sam
Boba.
saw
That
Tem.
Boba Fett reveal is pretty crazy. Yep.
want to.
Oh yes.
And Jason says he's been late a few times in Hawaii. I bet. And then Jason also said, let's see.
It's after
Oh,
10.
and then Jonathan, I was working with Tim. I love working with Tim. Tim is funny. Do you have any good stories? Tim takes very good care of us. When we did the one scene when we're pulling his armor, he got nervous because we was on a plank and he laid on this plank. And it was very cold because it was a night scene. And then he had all this book on him, and he got scared of us being so close to the edge where he
Because it was like
laid
on
on.
the edge of the
So
Sarlacc
he
pit, right?
would like, so then when we were up and when we were being placed, he would come and he wouldn't leave us because they asked, hey Tim, do you want to go back to your tent, right? And he goes, no, I want to make sure they're okay. So he was very loving, very caring when it came to us little people. He would take good care of us. And like I said, I worked a lot with him because I was in a lot of those episodes. And no, he's great. He's awesome. And he's funny. And he sings. And as you can see, some of the behind scenes, him and Robert, Robert would play the guitar and then Tim would sing. So yeah, we had a good time. I really love working on Boba Fett. And I hope to God there's a second season because Boba, it's well deserved.
Absolutely. Well, I know, like, we've all loved, watching new content because, as an old fan, getting new content is what I've been waiting for umpteen years. So it's very, very exciting about that. Just want to, is there any last minute questions from anybody?
I'm not seeing anything. I think we've answered just about everything we've had at this point. Anybody?
Awesome. Anyone? Say Ferrex. Okay, well, first and foremost, Leilani, thank you so much for joining us again today. We love having you involved in anything we do. We would love to have you back again, as always.
Oh, thank you. I love being here, and I love you guys, and and we're friends outside of this. But I really appreciate you all, and I appreciate all the comments and stuff. Keep following me. You got all these questions. Just keep following me and see where I am.
Definitely.
Traveling the world now to go into cons.
Absolutely. Yes.
Big
So
time.
keep an eye out for Leilani. Keep an eye out for Ariel. Good things happening for both of them. I want to also plug that we are going to have a guest next week on the Virtual Cantina Watch Along. We will have our friend Misty Rosas joining us again to talk about being the Frog Lady.
Nice. Ooh, Frog Lady.
So if you've seen
Nice.
her in the past, we've had her on for Quill. We're going to have her on for Frog Lady. So it's going to be a lot of fun for that. That's a great episode, episode 2. So please check in with that. And also this episode is available on demand on the Virtual Cantina Network. But before we get out, Leilani, anything you want to close out with?
Nothing. Keep following me. I'm going to be out and about doing more Comic Cons and stuff. I'm going to be in Austin, Texas this weekend, and then I'm going to be at Frankenstein's in the City of Industry in LA. It's been great when I do LA. Everybody's been looking for me, so I'm going to be there next weekend. Jeff should go, and so should Mike. And then let's see, what's it? Next month, I'm in Fort Myers and then Pensacon. I am excited to go back to Pensacon. That was my first Comic-Con. So anyways, just keep following me and keep watching the Virtual Cantina because these guys are great.
Thank you so much. But Dave, anything before we close out?
Just stay tuned and watch the rest of our shows over here on the VCN is coming up this weekend. We've got another episode of the Unifying Force. We're actually going to have all 3 of us on and discussing an Andor wrap up because I think two of the three of us have talked about it, but not all together and not since we've seen our final episode. And Monday, big day coming on Monday. Not only do we have our regularly scheduled Rebels Revisited, but we have the return of Celebrating Autographs with Frank Rich. So we're going to do a review of the autograph hall this past celebration in Anaheim. And then the show will be progressing from there in the months to come, getting you ready for celebration in London.
Yep. So keep an eye out for all that, and keep an eye out, obviously, for all of our different merchandise and shirts, including our new racer for Anarchy in the UK and our European vacation shirt, which Dave is modeling right now.
This makes an amazing, magnet too. You can order some other products with this stuff on it on the T Public. I have it as a refrigerator magnet, just to remind me of when, think about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jeff, anything you want to close out with tonight?
No, great episode. Look forward to next week. Thank you again, Leilani. It was awesome. Always fun to hang out.
Yes. We're gonna go meet for Christmas. Mike already told me, so I can't wait to see you guys.
Yes. Well, Mike is your travel and your events planner, so he's good with that kind of stuff. Anyway, thank you so much once again, everybody, for joining us tonight. We will see you this weekend for the Unifying Force. And we got a big week of shows next week on the VCN as we lead up towards Mandalorian Season 3. So from Leilani, from Jeff, from Dave, this is Spencer saying, this is the way.
May the Force be with you.
Ending cost
This is the
extra.
way.
And Uti.
That's a different episode. Different show.